What's up, everyone, to a brand new episode of Over the Top Talk. I'm your host, Owen, and I got my co-host right next to me, Anthony. How we doing today, man?
Bro, we are doing phenomenal. We're doing so good. We're so close to SummerSlam. Times are good, and we're just vibing out.
3 nights away, but it's not
You know?
just us two today. We got three beautiful men. I'm gonna introduce you to them now. Start with Mike. How we doing, man?
Oh, what's going on, fellas? How we living? Listen, we got SummerSlam on the way, and this is the
Yeah.
first time I've heard a beautiful man just to describe myself. So, guys, take me out to dinner first. Hey, yo.
Oh yeah.
Perfect. All right. Next one up, Leo. How we doing, man?
I am feeling great. I'm feeling phenomenal. No pun intended.
All right. And the last member, but certainly not least, Jesse. How we doing today, man?
Howdy, y'all. Again, I agree with Mike over here. Never get the beautiful comment too much. I'm assuming it's the hair.
Yeah. The luscious walk to it.
That's Dominic's twin over there, you guys.
The flow is flowing today, Jesse. I like it.
I appreciate it. It doesn't come naturally. So hard work is appreciated.
All right, guys. So we're on, I think, 3 nights now till SummerSlam. Anthony, I'm gonna give it to you. What match you want to start with?
Well, I'll throw a wild card up in the air. Let's start off with, let's say, Liv Morgan versus Rhea Ripley. One of the hottest feuds on the table right now. This feud piqued my interest from the beginning. These two women have so much history, and I think we're gonna have arguably this match could steal the night. Right next to CM Punk and Drew McIntyre, this match, keep an eye out for it. Just keep an eye out for it.
All right, I'm gonna throw in my take here. This is one of the matches that I've really liked the build up to it the past couple months, weeks, couple years, I guess you can say, because Liv Morgan, Rhea go way back. But for my official prediction for this match, I do think Dominic Mysterio is going to get involved in this match, whether that's and I think he's going to cost Rhea. Just going to throw that out there, whether it's intentionally or like by accident. I personally think it's going to be intentionally, and he will join Liv Morgan's side at SummerSlam and start the implosion of the Judgment Day. But I want to hear from Mike. What's your thoughts on this match?
Well, listen, this is a match for me that, like Anthony said, you got to keep a close eye on it. This was one we've been wanting to see for quite some time. Liv Morgan and Rhea Ripley, they've got a storied history. They used to be a tag team. Rhea Ripley took her out. Liv Morgan took her out. Liv wants everything Rhea's got. And now this week, she burned all of Dirty Dom's stuff, destroyed the Judgment Day Lounge, but Finn Balor's stuff was unharmed. So a part of me thinks Balor and Liv are in cahoots here, but a part of me also feels Dirty Dom is going to screw this up for Mommy, and Mommy is going to get her pound of flesh from Dirty Dom. But I'm taking Liv Morgan and still.
Perfect. I'll pass it off to Leo.
Yeah, I feel like if you want to be honest, like with the feuds that they have on the card, I think besides Punk and Drew, this is a match that I think really has all the tools to main event the show, if we're being honest, just because of the story between the two, everybody that could be getting involved in this match. I mean, like Mike said, I mean, Dom could turn to help Liv retain. You have Balor in the wing, so either one, because I know they've been teasing Liv wanting to take everything, and plus, nobody said it was her that won the trash, the Judgment Day locker room. It could be an inside job for all we know. We don't know. I think Liv is going to retain this one, and I think for a swerve, I say Balor cost Rhea the title.
All right, Jesse, the last man.
So, I mean, at this point, it sounds like I'm beating a dead horse, but I agree. The whole Finn Balor thing, they've been playing on that for quite some time now. It's always been in the back of people's head. Anybody who even pays attention to wrestling knows that's the rumors. But the thing with Liv is that it's beautiful because we all know this woman. And it's the most vindictive, most dangerous type. And it's actually to the point where Rhea actually feels like she has competition. And most women are just afterthoughts after afterthoughts. So with this one, I think, yeah, it doesn't matter if it's Dominic, doesn't matter if it's Finn. At some way, Rhea is getting screwed in this. That's just it. She's going to get screwed. We're going to then be able to see that extra edge to her, that extra, not to make a pun, but brutality from Rhea.
All right.
Yep.
Definitely looking forward to that one. But I do want to move to the other women's match on this card, which is, one of the matches that I'm not too excited for. I haven't felt really, I don't know. I feel like this Nia Jax versus Bayley feud just isn't hitting with me for some reason. And there's also different ways this can go. Obviously, Tiffany Stratton has her briefcase. I don't think she's going to cash it. We haven't seen. I think that new briefcase is going to come Friday, but we would only see it for 24 hours. I don't see Tiffany Stratton cashing in, so I'm going to throw that out the window. I am going to say Nia Jax is going to take this one only because I think down the line they want to set up that kind of friendship between Tiffany Stratton and Nia Jax. I think they want to split them up, start that feud. So I will give this win to Nia Jax, but I don't think the cash-in is going to happen. It's just too early. But I'll start with Jesse's thoughts on this one.
So, first of all, Owen, how dare you? I love my girl, Nia Jax. And
tell him.
I am going to, trust me, I understand of her first run and her incidents and things like that, but it's somebody's ability to grow. That was the beginning of her career, and she was already held to high standards. And this go around, she looks like a monster. And I'm sorry, Bayley, nothing but respect for the girl. She's obviously one of the best female wrestlers in the world, but I would rather watch paint dry. I just would. I can't watch her matches because it's the same thing. So no, I appreciate this new angle with Nia. Put something in there with Tiffany Stratton. There's actually storylines behind the women's titles now. And that's something that I don't really think we've seen in a long time from WWE, especially not just some story we throw away in a month. They've been building this. And I hope if they keep Nia with this, give her the title, like you said, Owen, establish that friendship with Tiffany. I think they honestly might be able to put some life back into that title.
Perfect. I'll move to Leo.
Yeah, I like Bailey and all, but I gotta be honest, this reign that she hasn't really had any weight to it, and it's mainly because of the opponents that they've been giving her, I would say. And I feel like it already felt like it started off on a bad note because you had her beat EO at Mania. They didn't really follow up on that. It just pretty much just felt like a one-off. They could have kept that story going because that was the only story that I was really invested in. But I think Nia needs it. I think Nia needs it more because I feel like if Nia loses, then what does that do for the Queen of the Ring going forward? You need to establish that whole gimmick is if you win that, you have a legit opportunity to win the title. So if you already have her lose and Bayley retains, would I be completely upset about it? No, because it's Bayley. But the thing is, I feel like if she wins, what is it for her next? What's next for her? Because I feel like there isn't anybody there. I mean, I know people saying maybe Charlotte comes back. Well, I don't want to see that. I don't want to see another four horsewomen match. I don't. I'm sorry. Please no. I don't want to see that. I don't want to see that anymore. We're past that. It's about elevating the next generation. And if you look at the story that they're trying to tell with Nia Jax and Tiffany Stratton, this has a lot of weight that they can really take this in the next couple of months. I don't think she's going to cash in at SummerSlam because, like Owen said, if she gets that briefcase on Friday, you don't just have her come out with this crazy, beautiful briefcase that's going to be pink, bedazzled, and everything, and she cashes in the next night. You want to have that sell on WWE Shop. We know that's going to sell on WWE Shop. Let's be honest. So you want to have her keep that briefcase for at least 2-3 months, and then have her cash in. I think the perfect time for her to probably cash in, maybe at Bad Blood or something, if they have a women's match on the card, or maybe Survivor Series. We don't know, but I think right now they have way more story to tell with Nia Jax as your champion. I think, like you said, Jesse, this is her best run right now. I think she's on the run of her life right now. And I think you cannot halt her momentum right now. She needs that title. So I'm going Nia Jax to become your new WWE Women's Champion.
Amen.
All right. I'll move it to Mike.
I like it, Leo. My man's always cooking. Jesse's cooking. The boys are cooking over here, over the top talk. I'm gonna lay down a little something here for you. I think Queen Nia is the new women's champion coming out of SummerSlam. I think you guys kind of hit the nail on the head. There was something that happened with Bayley's title run along the way that, she kind of got forgotten about. And it's unfortunate because I think she's one of the top 4 horsewomen. I'll tell you right now, she's top 3 and she's not number 3 in my book, in my opinion. So I was very sad to see kind of how this title reign went. You guys said it best. Nia Jax, first run, I was out. I was big time out on it. Since returning, I'm a big Nia Jax stan. If I had a stan account, I'd probably have a Nia Jax burner because I think she's doing fantastic work. I think she looks like $1 million. She's been nailing, her gimmick, just being that powerhouse, just coming out and dominating women. But Leo said her name, and I think we might see her appear at SummerSlam for a little face-to-face action with Queen Nia Jax. That's the Queen, Charlotte Flair.
Mm. Ooh.
All right.
The battle of the
Lastly,
real
Anthony.
queens.
Well,
Lord.
what else is to be said right now? I agree with everyone here. I think we are going to get some tension between Nia Jax and Tiffany Stratton, though. Maybe towards the end of the match, we'll get a tease cash in, but definitely not a cash in. We've seen that the men's briefcase is already cashed in because they don't want them to run together. You see, there's a pattern going on there where one gets cashed in early, the other one stays in longer. So, I think we're going to get weeks, maybe even months of tease cash-ins, and that's going to kind of build tension between Nia Jax and Tiffany Stratton, which is probably going to, spill over later on, maybe Survivor Series, probably not until a couple months, because I agree with Owen said, too, about how the friendship's going to be building, going to be strong, like her new right-hand man right there. So, yep, give me Nia Jax here. She's going to squash Bayley, and, I think we're going to have one of the most dominant women's title runs in a long time.
I agree with everyone here. For this next match, I'm going to bring out a prop here. And it's Sammy Hogan's title, the Intercontinental title match coming up. And I'm going to put it like this. Braun Breaker is the easy pick here. And nothing much more needs to be said. I swear, if I see him hit 8 spares and Sammy kicks out, I'm gonna lose my mind. But for this, I'll start with Leo's thoughts on this Intercontinental title match.
Yeah, I feel like they brought him in, and I think they gave him a great start. But I think the thing is, when you have Sami Zayn, I get it. He is a locker room leader, no pun intended. I think he is a great example. But I think whoever's beat Gunther was gonna have probably a lengthy reign, but for me, Sami Zayn is really not doing it for me right now, and that's no disrespect to him, but we're already seeing what's next for him. We've seen him team up with Jey Uso just last week to go against the Judgment Day. They beat the tag team champions, and I think if we're being the long game here, this is the first step to probably getting him probably back into that Bloodline storyline later this year. I think he will be part of that some way, shape, or form. Now, I'm going to play a little bit of trivia here. What match stood out from 10 years ago at SummerSlam? I'm going to throw that question to you guys. We had SummerSlam 2014.
Are
What
you
match
thinking?
That wasn't the Lesnar Cena SummerSlam. Was it? No?
It was.
Oh, well, hot damn. Okay. See, here I go guessing myself.
That's what I'm saying. And what happened in that match?
Lesnar destroyed Cena.
A murder?
Exactly. I think Braun Breaker. We relive SummerSlam 2014. Braun Breaker comes out and obliterates Sami Zayn. Sami Zayn barely gets any offense, and we see this new Braun Breaker, more vicious, and more hungrier than ever, he obliterates Sami Zayn and takes that title by force. And new Intercontinental Champion, Braun Breaker.
Perfect. I'm gonna move to Mike.
This man, I tell you guys all the time, man. I'm gonna put him over real quick. This man put that in my ear about a month ago, earlier this month for Money in the Bank, and I've been thinking about it ever since. He's right. He's cooking. My man kicking it with Leo. They have to call it cooking with Leo here because he's 100% on the ball. Braun Breaker and new IC champ. I'd like to see a nice solid match between the two guys. Sami Zayn's, in my personal opinion, a GOAT, a veteran, a legend, already in the game. I hate that you called him Sammy Hogan, bro. Don't do that. Don't dismiss this man by using.
I was cringing inside a little bit.
Don't use that H word to describe our king Sami Zayn. I'm giving the win to Braun Breaker, and in the words of my good brother Chano Hayes with Four Sides of the Ring, sometimes you gotta let the dogs out of their cage, and Braun Breaker's getting out of his cage.
All right, I'll move it to Jesse.
So again, not a surprise, Braun Breaker all the way. Because again, at least with Sami Zayn compared to Bayley, I like Sami Zayn's matches. It's solid, it's stiff, it's good stuff, good shit, as they say. But the thing with, I agree, it needs to be an absolute demolishing of Sami Zayn because Sami Zayn is that wrestler. I would rather see him chase the title. He's way more entertaining in that pursuit than he is with that title. And if you put it on Braun, you just got done with a dominating reign with Gunther. You need to have another thing where then they can build it up. Will he beat Gunther's reign? Then that sets up a possible Braun Breaker versus Gunther. And that's money right there. So lead that up possibly to, hell, I'll put that on Mania. So again, Braun Breaker all the way. If it lasts any longer than 5 minutes, I have been robbed of my time.
Wow.
Right, Anthony.
Oh my God. Wait, can I ask you guys a question real quick?
Go for it.
So what are we going to do if Braun Breaker loses to another haluva kick?
He's
Haluva
going to
kick?
be on main event. He's about to go straight to main event and not be here.
So I agree. I agree with everybody here, 100%. I think Braun Breaker is going to win. It should be a squash match, hopefully. I think we're going to be getting Sami Zayn in the tag team picture pretty soon. And I think hopefully it's not like 2012 Cena versus Lesnar, if you remember that match in the Extreme Rules.
No.
But this, we should see more spears. We should see the dominance of Braun Breaker like we've seen on Monday Night Raw for the past 2 months. We need to see the NXT version of Braun Breaker. We need to see the Wolf Dogs version of Braun Breaker. We need to see the NXT champion Braun Breaker out here. So give me Braun Breaker easily. I'll bet the house on it. So Braun Breaker.
All right. Moving to our next title defense, the United States Championship match, which, we've seen the champion Logan Paul. I don't think he's defended that much or at all in 4 months, but I know he's, had the title. He's been bringing it everywhere. He's been showcasing it everywhere. I just don't like part-time champions. I want them to end. And you have a guy like LA Knight who's been working his ass off, doing all the pay-per-views, events, fighting, while Logan just been kind of just riding in the backseat with the title, kind of. So I'm going to take LA Knight, but obviously there's a stipulation. I'm going to throw a question out here. Who do we think Logan was talking to on that SmackDown where he was I got off the phone with, I think he said Mr. Cleveland. So whoever wants to run with that.
I hate to say it. I don't want to say it. My buddy put this in my ear the other week, and it's hasn't left. MGK.
Ooh.
Hello.
He's an Ohio guy.
I could see that.
And
I was also
power
thinking
bombs them.
Power bombs.
Yeah. And also,
sorry.
Oh, it's all good. I was thinking it could be also his brother Jake Paul. You know, they're both from Cleveland. You know, we could see Jake Paul come out. You know, be like, I'm fighting Mike Tyson soon, and you know, lay the smackdown on LA Knight. But hopefully, it doesn't happen. Please, like, don't let that happen. It'd be funny to see MGK though come out. You know, maybe him get destroyed again, him eat a BFT. So yeah, that'd be hilarious.
All right, and Anthony, since you're kind of sitting there, want to give us
I'm taking
your.
LA Knight.
All right, perfect. I'll pass it right back to Mike, actually.
Well, fellas, let me talk to you. The winner of the United States Championship and new LA Knight. Yeah. Yeah. You know, you said it. This man has not defended this United States Championship since WrestleMania. And that is a shame. That is criminal that this man has not defended that title since then. So it's time to put the title on a guy, like you said, who's been working his ass off, who's there day in and day out, and who's looking for an opportunity and to run with the ball. LA Knight is your guy for the mid-card U.S. title.
All right.
Yeah.
Pass the ball to Jesse.
I mean, Mike is speaking the words of a wise man. If anybody is betting on anyone other than LA Knight, I question your allegiance to the business, to WWE, to just your self-respect. Again, I understand putting it on Logan Paul. It's a great marketing term, social media, these events, hippity-ha, blue blah. I don't care. I want to see wrestling titles on wrestlers. All credit to Logan Paul. He takes to it like a fly to shit. But at the end of the day, you said it, he's only there a handful of times out of the year. And if we can just finally put prestige back into every single title, and I believe that is where LA Knight comes back into play. The U.S. title is taken seriously again. It's not an afterthought, because right now, as long as it's not on TV, that's what it is, an afterthought.
All right. Leo.
I think LA Knight has to win this one. I feel like it's almost as if this is a last chance for LA Knight because him coming up short so many times. He came up short in his feud with Roman Reigns. He came up short at Money in the Bank this year and last year. He didn't get in contention for the U.S. title last year. So he's had all these opportunities that he could not capitalize on. So he has to win this. I feel like if Logan Paul won this, I feel like for one, the IWC would just be going complete irate right now. Like they would not be going for it because you had the guy who hasn't been defended since Mania over 261 days, almost 300 days as champion. Literally your top 3 of all time as U.S. champion. I remember a time where the U.S. title was seen as almost as a step below of becoming world champion. Like when you won that title, you were about to be world champion at some point. Look at the times where we've seen the greats hold that championship, and it did wonders. Look at what happened with John Cena in 2015. It introduced so many different wrestlers. It helped elevate so many wrestlers. AJ Styles a couple of years ago, it helped elevate so many different wrestlers. And I feel like recently the U.S. Championship, like Jesse said, is an afterthought. Look at what the Intercontinental Championship is doing on Raw. Like you have the star power to help elevate that title. And I'm looking at SmackDown. You have the star power to do the same thing, but if it's not there, then what do? You don't have anything to fight over. It's like almost the same thing we had to deal with for so long with Roman Reigns, like him not being there. The wrestlers who were in the main event scene didn't have a title to fight over, so much so you had to create a new championship on Raw just so you had a world title on 2 brands to fill the void of Roman Reigns not being there. Are we going to do the same thing if Logan Paul didn't show up and won again? Is that what we're going to do? Like, we don't need that. We need a fighting champion that's there every week defending that title, helping elevate those around him, but also elevating the title and the prestige of that championship at the same time. And I think LA Knight deserves it. He hasn't won a championship since being in the WWE. He needs this moment, and I have him winning.
All right. Perfectly said by everyone. I have my LA Knight merch sitting in my closet right now. But, you know, getting prepared. But the next match I want to talk about, you know, my main man CM Punk versus Drew McIntyre. I hate, hate. I can say that 1,000 times. That Seth Rollins is the guest referee for this match. I know they wanted to put him on the card. I understand that, but putting him as the ref is just not the right call, in my opinion. This feud between Punk and McIntyre just really did not need Rollins involved, like, at all. So with this match, I'm gonna say, we've seen the history with these special guest referees. Usually they cost one wrestler, and I think that wrestler is unfortunately going to be Punk. And I'm going to give Drew McIntyre the win, just because of Rollins. Whatever happens, whether he doesn't count the 3, hits him with like a curb stomp, anything, I'm just going to give this match to Drew. Simple as that. But I'll pass it to Mike.
Yeah, man. I'm on the other side of that boat. You may not like Seth as the special guest ref, but I love it. It's going to facilitate things for the future. We know that these 3 guys hate each other. They do not like one another. Punk doesn't like Drew. Drew doesn't like Punk. Punk don't like Rollins. Rollins doesn't like Punk. Vice versa. All of the above. When was the last time that you had 3 guys that absolutely hate each other that you could put in a rivalry without a title, and that could be a main event on a premium live event? I'm just saying. It's been a long time since you've had any sort of triple threat feud where no title was in the picture. I'm going to give the win to Drew here. I do think there are going to be some shenanigans that take place with our special guest referee, Seth freaking Rollins. How that happens, I want to say Seth inadvertently cost Punk the match. But then again, because Punk did cost Seth the match with Drew cashing in last earlier this month, maybe Punk just says, you know what? An eye for an eye, man. I gotta get my lick back, and I gotta do it to you. At the end of the day, Drew does get the win here. There's no doubt in my mind, and I think this sets up a really great feud for the fall. Bad Blood. That pay-per-view name is perfect for this feud. And to be honest, I think this is going to be a match that might steal the show tonight. There's SummerSlam.
All right, Jesse.
So I guess I'll be the one to go against the grain. So now hear me out. I think Punk is going to win. And again, hear me out. I agree with Mike. I also love this triple threat dynamic of everybody just dislikes everybody. But the reason why I'm going to say Punk is he needs to win this to be credible. So Punk has, unfortunately, a history of when the time is supposed to be right, he gets hurt, something happens, this, that, or the other, and he gets put on the back burner. He gets put into the Royal Rumble, and he accidentally gets hurt. This whole Drew thing was probably just pulled out of thin air because you have to capitalize on that kind of heat. So they were already planning to go down the Seth Rollins and Punk angle, but have it be a thing. Yes, Seth probably will target Punk a little bit more, but just inadvertently, he happened to get in Drew's way perfectly, where Punk, he then wins. He gets that strong W, and then he gets that bracelet back. And then that keeps it going because once again, Drew has been screwed. Now we can really put Seth into this triple threat mind state because while Drew and Seth do have their differences, I don't think it's on that heat yet as Drew and Punk have. So with that, Rollins cost me, screwed me. Now you've both screwed me. I think you then just can keep cooking with this because it's still hot and it's still fresh.
Perfect. I'll pass it to Anthony.
Yeah, I agree. I think McIntyre is going to win, though. I think this feud alone has enough star power to be pushed to Mania. I think it can go through the entire year with different changes, switches. We can have one-on-one matches. Like we can have Punk versus Rollins, Punk versus Drew again, Seth versus either way. And like Mike said, at Bad Blood, matches like Hell in a Cell in there. We could see these men in a Hell in a Cell match. We can see other dynamics. I don't know. But I think in the end game of this, McIntyre wins. And Punk is going to be extremely upset about it. He's going to be mad at Seth. He's going to be mad at the whole world. And we might get another pipe bomb. No. But I think this is going to be more of a blood feud going down the line. And just expect banger after banger after banger after banger.
All right, and lastly, Leo.
I think Drew has to win this one because I feel like if Drew loses, then I don't know what's next. Honestly, I wouldn't be mad at CM Punk because I do think CM Punk is owed a win. I mean, with him not being on Mania, but the way they kind of set this up, I don't know if it's just me, but it feels like they just made Drew like the face of this feud, even though he's really the heel. With as many times he's been getting screwed over, so many times at Mania in his hometown in front of his family and his wife, and then literally gets screwed out of cashing in Money in the Bank. Like he owes like CM Punk a beating of a lifetime. And then you add in Seth Rollins, who has no love loss with Punk at whatsoever. I think it's gonna make it even more interesting. Now I think people like look at it and like I think Mike, you said everybody hates each other. I don't think Punk and not Punk really, but I think Drew and Seth, they don't really hate each other. I think what their thing is, it's more mutual. It's there's some level of respect there. But with Punk and Drew, no respect. CM Punk and Seth Rollins, no respect whatsoever. They have no respect, and I think Punk will get screwed over. Somebody even threw out the idea: what if AJ Lee showed up and then she ends up eating a claymore from Drew?
Oh no! Oh
Oh
no!
my God.
Why do I feel like she would, though? Why do I feel like she would for the
An
brand?
awful way
He's
to
the
bring
type
her
of
back,
person
though.
that would do that. But I think
Well,
if you're extending this feud to Bad Blood, I think Drew gets the win, and you can have that chase on top of that where Punk is trying to get his bracelet back. On top of that, so that's another layer of the story that you're going to add to the feud that they have going on. So I think Drew needs to win here, and I'm going to pick Drew to win.
All right.
I like it. I will
Obviously,
say
I'm
though, before
repping
we,
Punk, but I will let Mike run with that.
I will say before you go ahead, I gotta say, if Drew was really that, if Drew hated Punk that much, he's got two different swords that he could have, picked up from his home and brought to a Raw to take care of. If he really hated him that much, now hear me out. I'm not condoning violence, but he does have these swords, so I'm just saying, maybe he doesn't hate him that much.
Yeah, I have my CM Punk merch, obviously, but like we've all said, Drew McIntyre, pretty simple choice there. I'm definitely looking forward to this triangle though for like
simple choice for
future
you.
pay-per-views. But with this next match, this is probably one of the matches I'm most excited for, and it's Damian Priest versus the Ring General Gunther. With this match, I've just loved these promos we've seen. I've loved, the assaults by Priest, Gunther. I've really liked this feud and the build up to it. We kind of didn't see a lot of Gunther at the start, and I was a little skeptical. But over the past couple weeks, I've loved where this feud has went. I don't want to see Damian Priest lose, but I do think with the pay-per-view Bash in Berlin coming up very soon, I do think we will see the Ring General Gunther win the title. We've been talking about it for a while. I think all the fans have been wondering when was he going to get rid of the Intercontinental and kind of trade it in for this World Heavyweight. So I do think it will be Gunther's time. But with that, I'll pass it to Jesse.
Oh, if Gunther does not win, I will riot. Listen, I love Damian Priest. Like, I was kind of on the fence when Judgment Day first started. I'll be honest, I didn't know a ton about him. I'd seen a few of his matches, but the guy just keeps on being more solid. And people want to judge, like the Clash at the Castle with his botch there and this, that, and the other. He's just now suddenly got thrown into the main event scene. Imagine what that does to your nerves. Imagine what's expected of you. And hey, accidents happen. It's what the business is made for. But now is the time for, unfortunately for him, to give it to Gunther, because Gunther reestablished seriousness and legitimacy into the IC title. And I'm not taking any credit away from Seth Rollins or whatever for the World Heavyweight Championship and all that. But somebody needs to put some legacy on that title and put it under the Ring General, because we need that again, like with the US title, with the World Heavyweight Championship. Put legitimacy into these titles once and for all, so every win for these titles is serious.
All right, I'll pass it to Anthony.
I'm actually in a roadblock with this match because over the past 2 weeks, the saying "Let Papa H cook" has not been more real. They have made me latch on to this feud like I wouldn't believe. At first, I was skeptical. We were thinking, oh, it's going to be a squash match. Gunther's going to go in here, hit him with chops, power bomb, and it's over. But they've really built up Damian Priest to kind of be this, competitor for Gunther. He seems strong and like worthy of being an opponent here. Unfortunately, though, I'm gonna have to go with Gunther, and it's a great move. I love Damian Priest so much, and it kind of hurts my heart, but I think it's the time. You're gonna put the belt on Gunther, and he's gonna put on some classic matches, going all the way up to Bash in Berlin and onward. I'm gonna throw a curveball here for this match. If we possibly see a member of the Judgment Day screw over Damian Priest, like Finn Balor or something comes out and costs him the belt. As we've seen, he's been seeming kind of sketchy lately. Finn Balor, he's been seeming kind of on edge with the whole thing. Obviously, talking about earlier, his face was not scribbled out and destroyed by Morgan. So I don't know. There's a lot of things they could do here, but right now, give me Gunther to become your new World Heavyweight Champion.
All right, and I'll pass it to Leo.
I mean, similar to what you said, I wasn't invested in this feud at first, but I think over time I really latched on and really got more invested into it. I have been a long Damian Priest fan since he was in Ring of Honor as Punishment Martinez. So I know what he's capable of, and you know his story, what he had to go through to get to the point that he's at now. And you can tell that they're transitioning him into a babyface role, which we're seeing constantly week after week. And I think that's what they're trying to do by putting him in this feud. But like Jesse said, this is a true test to how much of a main event player he really is. And right now, it's not, I won't say his reign has been bad, but it felt like almost if even though he was world champion, he's been playing like second fiddle to everybody else's story that's been going on. And I think Gunther needs it because you want to market him for Bash in Berlin. Now, can we see Priest get another opportunity at the title? Absolutely. But this is similar to Sami Zayn, where even if he loses, there's still stories that you can do with him outside of losing here. And I think Gunther will win. And I think kind of going back to what I was saying when we were talking about the Liv Morgan match earlier, I think Balor, maybe you have a situation where it's a mask of Sailor and we start to see who it is, and we don't know who it is until we get to this match. And then we have it be revealed as Finn Balor as the one that helped Rhea earlier lose, and then helps Lily Gunther win. And you, after the match, you have that visual of the new, so to speak, Judgment Day of him, Carlito, Liv, and JD. So you have that visual of, Damien pretty much distraught of what he just witnessed. Somebody he looked at as a brother just turned on him and costed him everything he's worked for up until this point. And now you can tell that story of the downfall of the Judgment Day. And now this story they've been building really since like last year when you had Seth Rollins as world champion. He was facing Finn Balor. You've been telling that story for about a year. So I think they pulled the trigger right where kind of really where it all started. So I got to go Gunther on this one.
All right, and last, Mike.
I'm going to close this one out, and I'm going to go on the other side of the coin here, fellas. Give me El Campeon and still World Heavyweight Champion. I'm going to tell you right now why. Damian Priest gave you guys a little foreshadowing a couple weeks ago when him and Gunther had their little face-to-face promo. Priest told Gunther, you were handed everything you got to this point. You were handed that Intercontinental Championship. You were handed these opportunities. You never had to fight for anything in this company like I had to do. And in my mind, I took that as a nice little bit of foreshadowing because I think what will make Gunther's title win more effective if he's got to go through the ringer and if he's got to work from the bottom to the top once again. Now, that may not happen. I also think here there's a lot of different factors that come into play here. Gunther, Bastion Berlin going into the premium live event as champion would be cool, but I think him winning it in Germany would be a lot cooler. So I think Priest wins this because the same reason why Sami Zayn beat Gunther at WrestleMania, because Gunther is overlooking Priest. Gunther told the guy right there on Raw, all right, we don't even have to have the match. Just hand me the title and I'll relieve you of this burden. The balls on this European dude to say that. He's got some brass balls, that's for damn sure, because I'm not going to just hand you the title I worked my entire life to get. What are you nuts? So that's why I think Priest is going to pull it out by the skin of his teeth. And then maybe you can make the argument for Gunther having to go and fight to become number one contender throughout the month of August to get to Bash in Berlin. But give me El Campeon. My delusions run deep, much like Liv Morgan's delusion. So we'll see what happens.
I just got to say real quick, in combat to what you just said, Mike, why I think towards Gunther for all those reasons is, think about it. He did come out and says, of course I'm successful. My parents loved me. They gave me a good education. They brought me up right. Why wouldn't I be successful? Of course I'm great. And have it be a thing, because the other night when he called him street trash, something clicked there of true natural heat, energy. People were like, ooh, they kind of wanted to like back away from that one. And Gunther, say whatever you will, he respects the business probably more than anyone else currently doing it right now. And he probably felt that. So it's just like, what can I do? Make it a thing. You like, they'll still have a good match, but Gunther goes over on top. He continues to win it. And it is a thing. Like, of course I'm the champion. I am the best. I have been brought up to be the best. And then, yeah, it could be Damian, it could be somebody else, but have it be like that unstoppable force again, because very few people have the ticket to be that. While many people do, Gunther does it right. So in kind of the same sense, Mike, that's why I think we're going to go with Gunther. I just got to stick with that.
I respect that. And I will say, though, here's where I get cloudy with this decision. If they decide to put the title on Gunther, you're setting the precedent, because we've already seen him hold the Intercontinental Championship for 666 days, longest reigning Intercontinental Champion. So at that point, if they put the world title on him, I'm expecting him to hold the title for over a year. And that locks things up, because you have a flourishing card. You've got a flourishing roster right now, and that upper mid card is stacked. So can they afford to put the title on Gunther for a full year when you've got guys like Drew, Seth, Punk that are all vying for the title down the line, right? Once this feud is over, their next eyes are set on the world championship. That's why they're all beefing, because Punk got hurt thanks to Drew. Drew ended up getting that opportunity at Mania, and then Priest cashed in on him. Drew couldn't get the job done. Seth couldn't get the job done. So I think it's tough, because as fans, we're going to expect a long title reign. And then are we going to feel robbed if Gunther loses it in like 3, 4, 5, 6 months from now? It's tough for me. That's the only thing.
Respect. I understand that. That's why this is so good. You're questioning it. That's the first time wrestling's had me like this in a long time. You used to be able to see any card and just boom, 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 and you could just see it. I'm questioning things. And for SummerSlam, which is, I know it's the big four, but for years it wasn't. For years, Survivor Series wasn't. It was Royal Rumble and WrestleMania. And the Royal Rumble simply because of the match, not because of the matches they were putting on there. So again, whoever wins, Mike, dinner's on them.
Sounds like a plan. I like that, Jesse.
It's true, because I feel like if they do keep it on Damian, you have that story that people want to see, and me and Mike are really want to see Finn Balor get that run.
Absolutely.
that he never really got started. So you have that. But like, I think this might be just me fantasy booking. And I think if you look at Gunther's history as Intercontinental Champion, one of the guys that was closest to beating him was Jey Uso. What if you were to circle back around maybe next year with Gunther as your world champion, and for however they book it, Jey Uso wins the Royal Rumble and he faces Gunther at Mania, and he finally gets his moment at a WrestleMania? That's built in right there. Like, you have so many guys that can go up against Gunther and put up great matches. We know Gunther is a matchmaking machine. He put up matches that against guys we didn't even think we could take serious against him. And at the time he was being booked, Mustafa Ali, he wasn't booked good in WWE. Let's be honest. I'm glad he's doing better elsewhere, but like, he still put up a great match against Gunther. So you have guys on the roster like Jey Uso, Drew McIntyre, CM Punk. You have Seth Rollins. You have so many different names on that roster that you can plug in to face Gunther any moment, and I don't think people would be upset about it.
Let this man
Perfectly
cook.
said. Speaking of Jey Uso, I do want to say the main event, Solo Sikoa versus Cody Rhodes. For some reason, this only reason I'm excited is, Roman Reigns coming back potentially. They've been hyping it up a lot. I just feel like Solo has been more focused on Roman than Cody. I don't know if anyone's going to agree with that. With these promos, he's been kind of mentioning Roman. We've seen those like end of TV things where they're all sitting at the table. He's mentioned Roman. So I am going to give Cody this win pretty easily. But there is 3 men lurking, and that's Jimmy, Paul Heyman, and Roman. I don't know. Roman's kind of a guarantee, but then again, you never know. It could just be, Jimmy. But I am going to stick with Cody winning. I just don't know when Roman is going to get into the situation, whether it's after and he comes and just spares everyone because he doesn't like Cody, doesn't like Solo. But I am very interested in seeing his return. The arena is going to literally possibly explode in Cleveland. So I am waiting for this match, but that's really only because, Roman is lurking in that building. Possibly Jimmy, but I want to hear from Mike first.
Yeah, so I'm a big Cody guy. I was hyped when he finished the story. I was right there. I was losing my mind. I'm very happy that he did. At the end of the day, I have really been enjoying Solo Sikoa and his fake ass tribal chief impersonation. His cosplay as the tribal chief. I've enjoyed it. If I remember correctly, what did you call him, Leo? Please, could you tell the people?
The weekday.
There it is. There it is, ladies and gentlemen. He called this man the weekday a month earlier this month, and I almost peed myself from laughing so hard. The weekday, or as I call him, the fake ass tribal chief. This man has been doing great work. He's gaining crowd hate like nobody's business, and that's exactly what you want in his business, because everybody wants to see Roman Reigns back. And I am in the department that we're going to get the return of both Jimmy, as long as he's healthy. I know, he was out with an injury and everything. I think the return of Jimmy takes place during the match between Solo and Cody. And then I think Cody gets the win. And then I think after the match is said and done, Roman and Paul Heyman return. And then we get that face-off. How they play this out, I've toyed with about 5 different ideas on my prediction episode. I said, you could have Roman go on the redemption tour now. He's got to go talk to Jimmy and say, hey, I'm sorry, Oos. I didn't mean to treat you like an asshole. And go to Jay. Hey, Jay, I didn't mean to, almost choke your brother out in front of you to make you fall in line with me 3 years ago. I didn't mean to abuse you all these years, because he's got to get them back on his side, unless Tama, Tanga, and Jacob have all been sleeper agents for Roman this whole time, which I find hard to believe all 3 of them are.
Yeah.
I think one of them is. I think we all kind of see that potentially Jacob may not be as devoted to Solo as the other Tongans, but I'm going to give the win to Cody. I'm going to settle on it that Roman returns with Jimmy, but they're not going to return together. They're going to return separately because Jimmy's got problems with Solo. Roman's got problems with Solo, obviously, because Solo wants to keep calling himself the tribal chief, and that's not going to fly with the real tribal chief.
All right, I'll go to Leo.
I think we're gonna see Jimmy and Roman, but I think we'll see Jimmy literally on SmackDown, and then we see Roman at SummerSlam. I think if you want to space it out that way, because now with Solo pretty much trying to be the tribal chief, so to speak, I think we are in an era now where I think a lot of people want to see Roman back. You're seeing the crowds week after week chanting for Roman. And I think if you have them bring Jimmy out, it will kind of feel like a slap in the face just a little bit to the fans that are there in attendance because they want to see Roman. And it's no disrespect to Jimmy, but he's not on par with Roman, especially the way they've been booked and stuff like that. So you have Roman come back. You can have that visual where it's Roman and Solo, staring at each other to close the show. Now, I think we'll see a situation where Cody does win because that's my prediction. Cody will win. And then afterwards, you can have Solo and the new bloodline try to attack Cody. And then we see Paul Heyman come out. And then he puts up the one that looks like he's kind of acknowledging Solo. And then you hear Roman Reigns' music hit. And then you see him come out. Then he's charging the ring to go after the bloodline. But let's be honest. Do I want to see Bowser as my WWE champion? No. The guy that came out on SmackDown just last week looking like he came out of Hitman with that trench coat on. Please don't do that. No. Just don't. I will literally turn the channel off and I would just act like SummerSlam didn't even happen. I'm sorry.
A part of me wants to see the crash out that'll happen on the IWC if Solo were to win. As a Cody Rhodes fan, I like chaos, and the crash out would be crazy. It would be so bad.
I would literally just say, am I watching 2K right now? Did 2K book this? This has got to be AI or something. Because I cannot buy into Solo. Honestly, like the guy that literally went only won one match against John Cena and then went on a complete losing streak, like over 40 plus matches. And now all of a sudden we're supposed to take him serious as being the guy that beat Cody, the guy that beat Roman Reigns, who had the championship for over 1,300 days. No, I don't see it. So I think Roman comes back. You set up that story. And like you said, you have the redemption arc where Roman Reigns is trying to apologize to those he has wronged. He apologizes to Jey Uso for everything that he's put him through. He apologizes to Jimmy. He goes to even Sami Zayn and says, I'm sorry for everything. And you can have them come back into the fold to side with him to go up against these new guys of the bloodline.
The real question, though, is will they forgive Roman for his sins? That's the real question.
They can tell a story with that. You can.
True. Valid.
I'll go to Anthony.
Well, I agree with everything that Mike and Leo both said. I think there is a chance that we see Jimmy the night before on SmackDown. But hear this takeout. This might be a really weird take, but say we see Jimmy return the week after at SmackDown. Say if the Bloodline have a celebration, say if they win, all right? If the Bloodline win the tag team titles in the week after, we see Jimmy come out. He's like the only people winning the championships in this family are me and Jay. You guys are not real tag team champions, la 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 la. I think we do see Roman come back at the end of the show. It's going to be after the bell ring, after Cody, hits the beautiful crossroads that we're going to see. And Roman come out, spear everyone. And then we're going to get a face-off between Roman and Solo. There were rumors I saw of The Rock coming back, but I don't think that's going to happen yet. Even though he did just finish, filming his movie that Corden did wrap up there. But I think it's going to happen later on down the line. So give me Cody with Roman returning at the end of the show. And I don't know. I'm skeptical about the Jimmy return because obviously if Roman does return and Jimmy return on the same night, Jimmy's return is going to get overshadowed by Roman's. We know that. But, so that's why I'm thinking it'd be a bloodline ceremony for their win if they win the tag team belts the week after on SmackDown. But I could see them doing it possibly on the same night. Maybe Jimmy and Jay come out together and, they reunite on that at SummerSlam. So, I don't know. They can do a lot with it, but definitely give me Cody here.
All right.
Damn.
And last
My
but
man
not least,
said-
Jesse.
He said, enter transitional champions DIY. That hurt a little bit.
I mean, the thing did happen in NXT.
All right.
I'm sorry.
So here's the thing, and I'm about to put a big old ugly bow on top of all this. While I do want to say in my heart, or more in my brain actually, Cody's going to win, I think, honestly, we might be looking at us getting swerved with Solo. Hear me out. I agree with Leo that Jimmy should come back on Friday. He'll get a great pop. He can come into the fold. It's more established. Okay, hey, if things go sideways with the bloodline, well, now we're looking, okay, he'll come in and reinforce. We still have Roman, who will get the monster pop. And they're going through their match. All back and forth. You can have the Roman angle. They'll start the music, have Paul Heyman. He walks out. You got the facial emotion from the bloodline. Roman then comes out. You can do a whole bit where they come down and they get into the whole fight. I'm going in a circle here, but at the end of the day, I'm just saying, with everything that WWE has been doing, I wouldn't be shocked by a screw job. I wouldn't.
Wow.
Because not only that, if you think from more of a statistic standpoint, they've been getting really into the betting and everything else. And obviously, Cody is the odds-on favorite. How do you keep people guessing? I don't know. Again, I feel like I went around my elbow to get my thumb there, but
I mean,
I think we could see. I think we could see a Samoan Spike actually take that championship from Cody.
that would be crazy. I mean, yeah, worse things have happened, but somebody even told me this. Imagine if Solo won the title, and then The Rock came back and he handed the title to The Rock. Oh my god,
crashing
that
out.
crowd would not. That would be a crash out in Cleveland if I've seen it. But like, I would say worse things have happened, but I think it'll be a situation if he wins the title, it's transitional. Like he wins it and then he holds it to like the next pay-per-view and loses it right back. That's how I see that happening.
I don't know. I never think I know what WWE is going to do anymore because obviously they are hot on Solo. I mean, Paul Heyman, God bless that man for taking the bump that he did. And who Paul Heyman is, he ain't going to just take a bump for anybody. Who are the last people I've seen lay a hand on him? Brock Lesnar and Roman Reigns. So the fact that he allowed them to powerbomb him through a table means he trusts these guys. He thinks that these guys are going to be the next big thing. And again, it's kind of with the Gunther thing where it feels like real wrestling heat. Solo has real wrestling heat. You are a fake ass tribal chief. I think at the end of the day, he knows that because he's trying to be something different. I love this whole Samoan mafia thing they got going on personally. I know you said, Leo, with the whole trench coat and everything else, but they have to go somewhere different. They've done more of the Islander look. They've done more of like the traditional kind of, just showing with the tattoos. They need something better. They need something to make them look intimidating. And no offense to the Tongas, when you weigh 210 pounds, you need a little help.
Oh, best believe that. I said they look like Kitman, but like, if we're going to compare them, they look like they're cosplaying out there. You got Tangaloa looking like a pirate with the eye patch.
Tanga the pirate, baby.
You got Tama Tonga over here sounding like a dog, like he's going to bark at somebody. You got Jacob Fatu sound like a werewolf, like he's about to howl at the moon right now. And you got the ringleader, the hitman over here. Like, we got everybody cosplaying over here. Everybody's cosplaying. It ain't even Halloween yet. Come on now. No.
Come on.
Nah.
I'm just saying. I thought everybody thought it was in the bag with Cody the first match with Roman. Everybody thought so. And lo and behold, they screwed you for a year straight.
Yeah.
So
that was a tough
I
scene.
wouldn't be surprised.
With that being said, I mean, we're 3 nights out. These are going to be like the longest 3 nights ever, as always, waiting for these and then we got to wait, for the actual pay-per-view on Saturday. So it's definitely going to be, short but long, but I'm looking forward to this. I do want to thank every single person that joined, Jesse, Kicking It With Leo, Mike. It's always a pleasure having you guys on. For everyone watching this, we'll have, every single one of their links to anything down in the description. So make sure to check all of them out. They do amazing work. And, with that, thank you everyone for watching. And we hope everyone has an amazing day, night, and SummerSlam is almost here.